Right, hi Ronan. This is my introduction to Irish and Celtic folk music. So, as you meant to ask, what do you already know about Irish and Celtic folk music, if anything at all?
Um, Not much really. I mean, obviously it's quite historical. It's not used as much now. It's about it really.
Okay. so basically, we call it Celtic music because Celtic music originates from any or either one of these six Celtic states. So we got Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Cornwall, Brittany, and the Isle of Man. So I'm just going to show you some different Celtic instruments and talk about the periods they come from. So basically, this is a harp. So it's an Irish harp. It's not chromatic, as opposed to a harp you might find in an orchestra. But this is one of the oldest instruments that's used in Irish music. So you find this mainly sort of before pre-19th century, even earlier than that. We also got a fiddle here. We call it a fiddle instead of a violin. Yeah. So that's one of the main solo instruments in Irish music. Then we've also got tin whistles or penny whistles.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Have you heard of a baron?
I've seen them. I don't recall the name, but I've seen them used.
So that's a percussion instrument they're using, and you play it by holding a hand against the skin and playing on both sides with a wooden stick. And we also got a bouzouki, which is related to a mandolin. Both come from Italy. Yeah. So we'll just move on to different periods. There's about 3 periods of Celtic folk music. So basically, pre-19th century, as I said, it was mainly use of the harp and bagpipes and quite simple instruments like that. This was also the period when folk music started incorporating music notation. So it did take quite a while for it to trickle down all of the advances in classical music. So before it was just passed on from generation to generation. This then helps historians take note of everything and identify everything that's happening. So we'll move on to 20th century. So 20th century is marked by the potato famine. So we've got lots of Irish people that are moving over to America because to flee misery in Ireland, and so they also contributed to American musical history because they founded music like old time and bluegrass in the Appalachian Mountains. There's lots of Irish immigrants and Scottish immigrants there. Then after that, we've got the 1960s folk revival, which also happened in the UK as well as in America. So that was the period where people started using bouzoukis and mandolins and instruments like that aren't typically or originally Irish or Celtic. Next, we'll look at the musical makeup of Irish folk music. So basically, and as we saw in musicology, it's mainly based around themes and variations. So you might have one idea on the solo instrument, like a violin or mandolin or something, and then that melody is taken up later on and developed and made into different variations, different rhythmic variations. And next, we've got improvisation. So obviously, because it's a type of music that's passed from generation to generation, you have a lot of improvisation because people pre-19th century didn't really use much music notation, especially sort of the majority of the working class sort of farm girls that would be playing this music. We also got fixed harmony, which is quite important in most folk music. You find it in folk music in Eastern Europe, in Bulgaria, Hungary too. This is fixed harmony. So we have fixed intervals of like fourths or thirds between two solo instruments that are harmonising. So that's quite a main that's quite an important part of folk music in general, but also Irish folk music and Celtic folk music. And not to forget, this is also modal music, like the majority of folk music. And the interesting thing actually with Irish folk music is the harmony is still the same, more or less the same as the Renaissance era classical harmony. So that's quite interesting. And then we got numerous influences of this type of music all around the world. So as I said, bluegrass, old time, but then also more modern music like punk. There's a lot of sort of, do you know the Dropkick Murphys, or there's lots of American punk bands that have incorporated an Irish Celtic sound. And then the same for rock, and exactly the same for metal too. And also culturally, the movement sort of spread around the world. Because with the immigrants, especially in North America, the culture is definitely very present thanks to the integration of all of these Irish influence. So I was just going to play you a quick jig just to show you maybe an example of a quick melody, and then we'll just finish. Have you got any questions, Brian, before I finish?
No, you've made it all pretty clear.
So as you can see there, we've got a lot of themes and variations.
Yeah, I can see the original idea.
And then going to the dominant and things like that.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.